friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the signs that I experienced that pointed to the fact that I was pregnant before I took a pregnancy test and before my missed period. I will be referring to pregnancy symptoms as pregnancy signs because honestly I don't like the definition of symptoms in relation to pregnancy. Symptom is defined as a change in the body or mind which indicates that a disease is present, and basically all the definitions I looked up say the same thing. And pregnancy and birth are not a medical condition, it's not a disease, so sign seems to me to be a little more fitting. Our bodies obviously know that we are pregnant before we know and before we can confirm it. At least for the most of us. After we ovulate, or when our body releases an egg to be fertilized, we have up to 12 to 24 hours to conceive, or where the sperm fertilizes the egg and we end up conceiving a baby. After conception, we have about 2 weeks to our missed period. Of course, this timeline can vary depending on your individual fertility cycle. Not everybody ovulates on the same exact day after their period, and everybody's cycle length is different, but this is based on the average. So we have about 2 weeks where we are pregnant before not getting our period as a confirmation of pregnancy. During this time, if you are in tune with your body will tell you that you are pregnant. It could be in very subtle or very obvious ways. Some women actually feel the moment that they conceive. I've heard women share that it's just a deep knowing that they know that they have conceived in that moment. I personally haven't experienced that, but I think that is really cool and I hope to experience that in the future. Deep down inside, I subconsciously knew that I was pregnant, but I wasn't allowing myself to feel any hope or excitement because I didn't want to get my hopes up. If you'd like to hear my fertility journey, I'll link it in the description box below the video. I waited until day 4 of my missed period and my pregnancy test was immediately dark. After confirming my pregnancy with the pregnancy test, I reflected on the last 2 weeks of the ways that my body was telling me that my body was pregnant. So my body told me that I was pregnant in subconscious and physical ways. The subconscious ways that my body told me that I was pregnant was I had this extreme desire to eat healthy after conceiving for the 2 weeks following up to my missed period. It wasn't like a typical desire of, oh, let me clean up my diet. It was like, you need to start eating healthy now. So it was really weird and it took me back by surprise, but I chose to lean into that and started to clean up my diet and be extra mindful of what I'm eating. This one's really weird, but I also had a strong desire to not keep my phone near my uterus. I have never heard anybody experience this. I don't know, but I just knew deep inside to not keep my phone near my uterus. I would hold it far away from my uterus. There were lots of physical ways that my body was telling me that I was pregnant. After ovulation and obviously conception, I had uterine cramps almost every single day. And this is not something that I experienced with my daughter, with my first pregnancy. So it was really cool, and that was the biggest indicator for me that something was up, because I don't get cramps, like uterine cramps, before my period. So that was a huge indicator, and it wasn't like a uncomfortable cramp. It was just like light cramping where I knew something was happening in my uterus. Another really big sign of pregnancy that I experienced was extreme hunger. I don't think I ever experienced that kind of hunger other than when I had my daughter and was breastfeeding in that first month or 2 or 3. It was such an intense hunger where I was just eating all day, every day, and I could not get enough food. I think I was eating probably like up to 4,000 calories a day. It was crazy. With my daughter's pregnancy, I did have lots of aversions and I didn't have an appetite. I actually lost 15 pounds in my first trimester with my daughter. So I think my body was just preparing for just in case, I don't know, storing up food and nourishing my body, because I did also have a loss of appetite during my first trimester with this pregnancy. Although thank God I didn't lose any weight, because I don't think I can afford to lose any more weight than I already have from breastfeeding. I had loose stools every single day, which was abnormal for me. I usually have very consistent bowel movements, and this threw me off by surprise. I was also super bloated, which is common with the increase of progesterone, which is a hormone that sustains pregnancy. I was really bloated, which is uncomfortable, but is also kind of exciting because we like to look pregnant. At least I do. I like to look pregnant, especially in the first trimester, when the baby is so small that physically it's just not possible to look pregnant. Because I was still breastfeeding my toddler, I noticed a drop in my milk supply. My boobs felt emptier, and I noticed my daughter getting more frustrated, and I noticed her eating solid foods a lot more than usual. I was unusually tired, not the kind of tiredness that hits you in the first trimester, but still, it was unusual to be that tired. My face broke out, which was unusual for me. I usually don't have breakouts unless I'm not washing my face enough or something hormonal is going on. And clearly it was something hormonal was going on. I also had no libido, like absolutely no sex drive, which usually my sex drive is a struggle anyway due to breastfeeding. But this was like flatlined, like nothing. And lastly, I was super emotional. So these are basically all the signs that I experienced that were telling me that I was pregnant prior to getting a confirmation. Signs of pregnancy will vary depending on you and your body, but usually there will always be signs because your body goes through hormonal shifts right after you conceive. Some of these pregnancy signs continued throughout the first trimester, and some of these signs went away by week 3 and or 4 of pregnancy. So please comment in the comment section below and let me know how you knew you were pregnant before confirming it with a missed period and or a pregnancy test. I am also really curious if you're one of those that knew from the moment that you conceived, that you felt it. Also, share your story below. I would love to hear it, and I'm sure others would too. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys again soon.